Hello guys, this is Nix, your local bunny boy here, and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's videos I'm going to be starting the very first webtoon vlog. Not technically a vlog, but just showing you my processes of where I'm at and where I'm going to do next in my webtoon making journey. Now first of all, I'm going to be showing you, obviously a lot of the webtoon process was writing, but I finally got into the drawing stage of mainly the character designs. This is going to be a video about basically the rough sketches of the character design. I'm also going to be showing you their Pinterest boards and the aesthetic and inspiration for each character. It's not going to be every single character that's in the comic, but the most important characters that need a visual look, an idea of what they look like before going into a design. These aren't the final character designs, but these are very much approximations. Most of them are final, at least in my head. Some of them, when I go to actually do the final character designs, they might change slightly, but for now these are the bare bone rough ideas of each character that's important to the story. Now I'm not gonna be telling you every single character's importance and role within the story, because that's gonna be spoilers for most of them, but I'm gonna be giving you general ideas of who they are and what part they kind of play, again minus the spoilers. So let's get into it. Now the first character, of course, is going to be Theodore, the main guy, our main boy. His full name is Theodore Hayes. Obviously, his first name's obviously changed because obviously he's trans. That's one thing I need to say about him. He is trans. I feel his aesthetic is very much pastel blues, cozy boy aesthetic. You know what I mean? When he's casual, but obviously when he's performing, it's more out there. It's almost like a sparkly, fancy tux type outfits. I do have a rough sketch of me playing around with his design a bit more that I want to finish up. I'll probably show it on screen, the sketching stage of it. But yeah, that's my boy Theo. I don't want to say any more about his character because, again, spoilers. You're gonna learn more about him in the story, but he's a sweet guy that's outgoing and really loves to sing and perform. Now for the next character, Link, our main love interest. Now obviously the top male guys at the male characters at the top, not characters, they're people, are ideas, because I've never drawn masculine looking characters before. I don't usually tend to draw masculine looking characters, so it was basically for ideas of what a masculine face tends to look like. He's not gonna look like those guys at all. He's gonna look completely different, but his aesthetic is very much grays, dark grays, whites maybe thrown in there. He just wears tuxedos, and that's going to be an element to his character, because I feel what I can describe for his character is that he's a very much by the book character that just does not everything according to his plan. He can't do anything outside of his schedule, outside of his plan. He has to just go with his predated plan of what he has to do that day. If anything gets thrown off, he's the type of person to overreact whenever something throws off his plans or schedule and stuff like that. And here I'm going back to fix Theo's hair, but yeah, I feel Link is a very much by the book straight edge type of character who I'm gonna play around with getting out of his comfort zone, but that's Link. And now it's time for one of the other people involved in the story, which is Lyra. Now Lyra is the one involved in the competition with Theo, because the story is about a music competition. 5 contestants who have made it to the final round. Theo's one of them, obviously, and Lyra is also one of them. I feel Lyra's aesthetic is very much dark, grungy goth in a way. I don't know how to describe it, but basically if you listen to the artist Death by Romy, that's basically her vibe as a person. She's also trans as well, because gotta represent my trans brothers and sisters and all of them out there. But yeah, the one thing I like about her design idea is the fact that she's super tall. She's super tall, but she also tends to wear platforms. Obviously in this character lineup I couldn't do that, because it's more, I'm supposed to kind of portray their heights within relation to each other, mostly within relation to Theo, because he is the main character, so within relation to him, how tall or how short each character is. But I feel Lyra is going to be my favorite character, one of my favorite characters besides Theo, Link, and every other character in this, because she's a moody type of person. She's very much I don't care, I'm just vibing type of character. Now, I have to say that these characters were kind of drawn in a weird order because next is Theo, I'm not Theo, is Link's brothers, David and Robert. Now, how I would describe them is they have a single Pinterest board, but I'm planning on splitting them up because at first I was like, they're kind of like not important characters, but as I was writing, I was like, no, they're kind of important. They need their own separate Pinterest boards. But they basically just are like fucking spoiled, like preppy kids growing up. I feel like obviously Link would be considered a preppy spoiled kid as well, but again, when you read the story, you'll see the difference between him and his two brothers. Now, I believe David is the middle child, Link is the youngest, and Robert is the oldest, even though David acts like a complete fucking child. He's a man child. Like, David is literally like the epitome of spoiled rotten. And then Robert is like the opposite of that, honestly. I wouldn't say he's not spoiled, but I would say he's someone who's very much like, I don't know, critical thinker type of person. Not somebody that acts out of emotion most of the time. He's very much just like a logical, critical thinker. And I feel like he's the favorite brother. Like, Link prefers to be around Robert than he does David. Like, I feel like the relationship between Link and Robert, they're very close. David fucking hates his guts. And now for Theo's best friend, which is gonna be Danny. I feel like Danny's aesthetic is kind of simple and to the point. I only needed like 3 pictures / a video to kind of describe her vibe and feel. I don't know what word to use with this because I don't know every aesthetic by name, so I can't really give you an idea of what her aesthetic is. I guess it's e-girl. Yeah, it's the e-girl aesthetic. That's the name of it. But I feel like Danny's like the cheerman, or like the wingman, the cheerman of Theo. I feel like she helps him out with this like contest and all that stuff when it comes to like getting the costumes together, because I feel like the contestants have to buy and make their own costumes after the final round, because they're in the final round. I feel like before that they were given like basic outfits and costumes to perform in groups, but now since they've all won and moved to the final round, they perform by themselves and need their own outfits. And next is Kara, the manager of this competition. Like, Kara obviously is like CEO, girl boss type of moment. She's honestly my favorite. I feel like she's gonna be my favorite of them all, honestly, because I don't know. At least I'm thinking. I've only written a certain amount of the script, so I'm not sure. And she's in like at least like 2 episodes. The first episode and the second episode, she's in those. Like, yeah, Kara is basically the manager / CEO of the company, which is called Nova Star Entertainment. She's the CEO and she's the one who's like running the competition as well. The competition is basically to find new artists she wants to work with, because obviously it's also a record label. They produce different artists and songs and whatever. Right now they're hosting a competition to draw more attention to their studio as well as their artists and other stuff like that. I feel like Kara is a very like chill boss that's like no nonsense. She's chill, but she is no nonsense, you know what I mean? But yeah. And then next is like Theo's family. Now with Theo's family, I'm not gonna say much about them, but here I'm trying to like basically give an idea of the character that I'm designing next, which is Tanner. Now for Tanner, I'm not gonna say much about him and his relation to Theo in any way, because that's like, they're not brothers. I'm just gonna say that they're not brothers. I'm just trying to like depict like the people he used to know in his hometown, and Tanner's one of the characters that he used to know back at his hometown because he left his own town to come to the city. And next is Flint. Flint is a personal trainer. I'm not gonna say much about him as well, because again, there's a lot of secrets with these characters that I can't say out loud. Flint very much turns up way later in the comic, like way later. Like with how I'm writing each chapter, he's gonna turn up way later. I'm not gonna say much about him, but what I can say about the writing is that basically I wrote chapter summaries for each chapter. Then when it came to writing the script, I literally turned 1 chapter into 3 chapters with how much I wanted to add, because if I had written everything that I wanted to happen in the script within the first chapter summary, that chapter would have been at least like 100 or 150 panels long. That's how many panels it would have had. But yeah, and then here's Amy, which I'm gonna say is Flint's mom, But Amy, I can't talk about. Amy is like an old, like, Hollywood starlet type person. She's basically Theo's idol in terms of like performers. She gives very much an aesthetic of like Hollywood glam. Well, used to. Now she's kind of like retired and doesn't perform anymore. She lives a very quiet, like, comfortable life with her son and stuff like that. Now, how she plays a part in the story, I'm not gonna say. All I can say is that she's Theo's idol, and that's all I can say about her. But I feel like she's also like my favorite. I love her like aesthetic, and I can't wait to draw her more, like fully, like render her design. She also turns up way later in the story, so right now I'm not planning on drawing her design fully, because again, characters that turn up later aren't gonna get full on designs. But yeah, and then we have Judith. Now I feel like I really want to say what's happening with Judith. Judith is Robert, David, and Link's mother. So yeah, she's the mother of all three of them. And I want to say that her play in this comic is basically like strict mother figure that expects a lot from her children. You know, that mom that puts all their kids into like AP classes and all these other curricular activities to show them as like, to like talk about them, be like, oh, my kid is doing this, that, and that. He's going to that college and that college. She's that type of mom. Obviously, she is a caring mother, but she's a very strict mother at the end of the day. Because she has an image to uphold, especially with their family being known as like rich, influential family. And obviously here comes William, the dad. Now I feel like William is honestly kind of like a chill guy. He's not very much a person who like, I don't know how to describe it, but if I could say who spends most of the money in the relationship, it would be Judith. William doesn't really care about the money aspect of it. He just wants the status of being a well-known figure. Like he owns the law firm that Link, Robert, and David work at. Although I don't know if David works there. I haven't figured what he does, because I feel like he is the spoiled brat of the family that doesn't want to do shit. So I feel like if anything, it's Link and Robert who work at the law firm, but like fucking David is just doing nothing. But yeah. And then comes the people participating in the contest alongside Theo and Lyra. I don't know why I designed all of them last. I feel like I designed each character based on like hierarchy of importance. So the characters before that I designed are more important than the characters that are at the last. You know what I mean? That I designed last. So here we have Lyra. Don't know anything about her. She's just she's a part of the contest. That's it. Oh, but what I can say about the contest in itself is that the songs that they perform are very much like known songs. They're not their own original songs because they have to perform every week. I believe like during weekends they have to perform every week. Some people buy tickets to go there and some people just watch it online or via streaming service. And obviously the next character who's also in the competition is Dorian. What I can say about him is that he is Link's crush, but other than that, he has no other backstory. He's also just a part of the competition. I can say about him is that he's one of the sweetest guys. Like, he's very sweet, very nice. That's why Theo has a crush on him. But I feel like, yeah, he's just a sweet person. Honestly, a chill guy. Like, the thing about the contest is that they perform songs, and the thing I want to do when it comes to each episode, I don't know if Webtoon would ever allow me to do this. Like, I feel like after entering the contest, if I do by hope win, I'd have to ask them, am I allowed to mention real life songs at the end of the episode? Because obviously each week they're performing a song that's in real life, so I want to like give you like the songs that each person performs, so you can go off on your own and listen to the songs and get an idea of like what song they performed this week that made them either win this round or lose this round or whatever. And that's not saying anything about the songs themselves being good or bad. Each song that each character sings, I 100% tell you is a song that I really like. Like, each song that each character performs, a song that I like. And next we have, kind of almost forgot her name. Her name is Jay, and she's a rapper. Like, she's the rapper of the group. Not the group, they're not singing in a group, but like, I feel like she's very much like the dancer, the rapper, all that type of energy. again, still, she also doesn't have a background. She's just a part of the competition. And then next we have Silas. Now with Silas' character, I want to take it either one of two ways. Either he's just there as also a nice guy similar to Dorian, or he's an antagonist in some shape or form. I'm still not sure about him. Some part of me wants to make him an antagonist, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know what to do with him as a character. Like, these characters kind of like blank slates that will fill a role as I write the script, because that's how I write. But like, that's gonna be the end of like the designs after that. But basically what I'm trying to say, the way I write is that I'll write up the summary, the characters, like the characters and what type of person that they are. But the minute I start writing the script, everything kind of just gets blown over its head and everything just changes. Like I said, I wrote a chapter summary, but that chapter summary turned into 3 chapters. So that's what I'm trying to say when I say that when I get to writing the script, almost everything changes. The characters' personalities change a bit depending on like how I want them to interact. Like, the characters kind of like turn around and become slightly different. So in my head, it's like I'm waiting to write the chapter where this character shows up before like cementing the type of person that they are. Like, for some of the characters, like the main characters, obviously already have that written out for them. But for characters that are more like in the background and they don't play a role yet, I'm waiting for writing them down in like a chapter and be like, okay, this is their personality as I'm writing the script, and then I'm gonna go on to like concretely like place their character as this or that. But yeah, that's what I'm planning to do for it. But anyway, that was this video. I can't wait for the next vlog, which is basically going to be finalizing the character designs and maybe even the rough draft for the first chapter. Can't wait. Anyway, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye.